I'm Duncan Ferguson and you're watching Toffee TV.
Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the final the final word. Everton, the one Norwich one where he with Matt Jones has come in his best Christmas jumper to see us. And is that on a Christmas jumper? Sorry, man.
I don't know. I think it's festive.
Oh, okay.
Brought mince pies and everything.
I know you brought mince pie, Baz.
It's amazing.
They're up there. What are you doing when he goes?
Take them to your party that you're having without anyone else.
Yeah, okay. Right, we'll move on from that. Another frustrating day. It's an average day at the office if you're an Everton fan, really, wasn't it? You know, dominate the play for 45 minutes. Could have been 7-0 up. Concede within 2 minutes of the second half. That's it. That's Everton in a nutshell, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I imagine the show you did last week, you probably just do a repeat of it, couldn't you? For Crystal Palace, same sort of thing. And the week before.
Just change the title.
Just Photoshop that onto there and run it again. But no, it was huge. I was quite positive after the Palace game. I was trying to stay up, upbeat, saying thought we played really well in times. There was intensity about us, incision about us in that game, and obviously hitting the post a few times kind of made it feel as though we would have been unlucky. But I think this game was a bit different in the way that we were so wasteful in the first half. The manner in which the chances were spurned was just complacent, wasn't it? It seemed as though once we got that first goal, as good as some of our attacking play was, and the way we moved it around, the flicks and the tricks was all great, but we just needed to get that second goal and just kill the game off, and we didn't do that. And even though we conceded from the set piece, which I'm sure we'll touch on later, just the worry for me was the way that we didn't look as if we were going to score at all after that goal went in. We didn't seem to be able to get a foothold back in the game again, couldn't build any momentum in the match, and once that goal was conceded, there was only one team that was going to win it, and that is a big worry for me.
Come on, Baz. You're angry. You're very angry. Let's get it out.
The anger's gone.
No, it hasn't. You are angry.
The anger's gone. I'm angry about other things, not
draw it out.
Not
yeah,
about
draw
this.
it out. Use that anger.
Channeling in anger. Matt's just said it all, hasn't he? It's just same old, isn't it? A lot of good stuff, a lot of bad stuff, and a manager that doesn't seem to learn, or a team that doesn't seem to learn. I mean, criticise the manager all he wants, but he's not the one running clean through with a goalkeeper and not being able to score and not heading corners away and not passing the ball, not working hard. The list goes on.
But doesn't that come from the manager though? If it happens every week.
Yeah, but the manager can only pick the team, can't he? He's picking the wrong team, but it's only the odd players. Well, look, you can go on all you want. Kone can only do maximum an hour, and he's played the last 2-3 games full 90 or whatever. We've got nothing on that left-hand side. Roberto Martinez, Romelu Lukaku went from Pele to Stuart Barlow in one half. Kone's put clean through with the keeper. He's got to score. That's not the manager's fault, is it? It's not the manager's fault. You can't blame him for that,
Can't you?
No, no, you can't, because he's not the one shooting at the goalkeeper.
You seem rather hesitant to just unleash here, Baz. I'm trying to get it out here, and you're giving me like little two-word answers.
What do you want?
I want it all. I want it all out.
I just want to be fine.
Come on, there's people out there who want to hear
I think
you.
there was about 200 words answered then. What do you want to know, mate? What do you want to know? We threw another 2 points away.
Get it all out. Come on, I'm trying to help you here.
That's what we've done. We've thrown another 2 points. We played the team who in our first 45 minutes were probably the worst Premier League team I've ever seen in my life. They were diabolical.
Yeah, they were.
They were absolutely. They just forgot about defending and tried to attack. And Everton will cut you open.
Roberto Martinez has come out and he said we're too soft. Now, these are words that we've said for a while. All of us have. A lot of people out there have. And then other people have criticised, going, the first half, some of the football was absolutely brilliant. There's no argument about that. It's great to watch. But it's not enough, is it? It's not enough. And I know there's a lot of people out there who criticise people like us for criticising that, because they say, well, what do you want? What we want a team that wins football matches, don't we? You know what I mean? Because it's great watching you. You said last week, Matt, I seen you tweet and said it's enjoyable going the game again. You actually enjoyed it. That's probably the difference between last season and this season. I mean, in terms of points, there isn't much difference, but in terms of going a match, it is a lot more enjoyable. But at the same time, it's massively frustrating when you're not finishing teams off. We've had 8 draws now. We're up there with Spurs. You know, but Spurs lost yesterday and they're still ahead of us in the table. There's a lot of
Watford
teams
ahead
like
of
Watford
us,
who have lost a lot more games than us. Crystal Palace who've lost more games than us, but they're winning games, and that's where the frustration comes from.
The frustrating thing for me is I don't think we're far off winning games. I don't think the tweaks that we need to make. They are tweaks. They're not massive changes. There's not like you don't look at the team and think we need to have a wholesale change here. I think there are things that can be simple things that the manager can do, which I know you mentioned there. You don't think he was responsible for the performance on Saturday. I think there was more he could have done to alter the game better once we did go behind on Saturday.
I'm not saying he's not respond. What I'm saying to you is, it's once they cross the white line, he's not the fella running through. You wanted Lukaku in front of the goal, 12 yards out, 10 yards out.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Puts it wide. The one he sticks wide at the far post, and anyone could have scored that. So
he just seems to have blind spots.
Yeah, of course.
And
hey, you obviously don't know me very well if you think that I'm defending him unequivocally.
That left-hand side, it's like, you watch it, and like I just remember when you used to play Football Manager and your assistant manager said, this player's exhausted, he needs to be dragged off. And it's like, that's what Kone's like every week after an hour away from home. Yeah. And you can see it, and it's so obvious, and teams see it, they target it. And it's the same with set pieces. I noticed against Palace and the game before, can't think of Bournemouth, and again, Norwich. Teams aren't fizzing crosses in against us now, they're just floating them in, because they know we haven't got any players who attack the ball in the air. Foons Mori's probably about the only one. Our second best header of the ball, Lukaku, who's up on the halfway line all the time. We haven't got a goalkeeper who comes off his line, so they know if they win that first header, that's it. Then it's panic stations in the box.
The first tweak for that is just swap Delafeu with Lukaku.
Or Barkley.
No, but I'd lit it. Well, Barkley's 6 foot. You want him in it. Lukaku's 6 foot. So you want him in the box. But you put Delafeu on the D of the halfway line, no one's catching it.
Or Kone. He's not great in the air, is he?
No, but he can't run either. I think what I'm talking about is clearing the ball. You've got Delafeu who's running through. Then what they do is they have to put two behind and one in front. So you're dragging players back out your box. But I've seen people blaming Tim Howard, and you know that I will have a little pop at Tim because I think he's on a downward spiral. But I can't blame him at all for Saturday. I don't think it wasn't his fault. It wasn't a fault for the goal. You know, but it's the defenders giving defenders free headers in the box. That's the problem for me.
Again, we've just crossed over 14 different subjects.
Yeah, it's all good.
Going back to the left-hand side, I said weeks ago, we said it before. I just wouldn't have Coney playing away from home. Full stop. I just wouldn't. And I know. The argument is, well, can you play him at home and play him away? Yes, you can. I think you can. I think there's better options. Okay, we're down one at the moment. McCarthy being out, Cleverly I think would be a perfect option over on that left. But I just think at the moment, I don't see the value in playing Coney away from home. I don't see what he offers. I mean, he missed a couple of chances on Saturday, but I think Morales could do that job away from home. I know you don't like his temperament and he is hit and miss. But I think Morales could play there. I think Lennon could play there. I think Naismith could have an opportunity. There's players there that could come in and do that job and give you a balance. I'm not saying any of them are good enough, and they've all been tried before. And what really needs to happen is someone comes in who that's his actual position, by someone who plays on left hand side. But I just don't see what Coney offers away from home.
No, but you know for a fact that's what I say every week. And we've championed Morales, haven't we? And he came on Saturday and he was a waste of space.
But I don't think there's some players, and Ross Barkley's another one of these players, you bring them off the bench and they just don't get into the speed of the game. And I think, I'm not saying Morales deserves a chance, but while he's still being paid by Everton Football Club, and he's still a professional footballer who's signed on to play for Everton Football Club, use him. He could be effective.
I'd done a video on Friday championing him to play, and then he come on with half an hour left. I mean, talking about Martinez, that was the wrong sub. Delafeu, he was ineffective in the second half, but it was 15 minutes in because he got a slap in the face. The manager takes him off, and then he swaps Coney onto the other side. That was poor management because I've said it a million times, you leave Delafeu on the pitch.
He's clearly got an issue with playing both of them, hasn't he? He just, for some reason, he just doesn't like playing. Like, I'm not Morales' biggest fan, but I could see the value in bringing him on one side at the weekend and having Delafeu on the other. Yeah. But what the game was crying out for? Naismith. Just because when you're under pressure like that and the game's getting a little bit frantic, we've seen it at Tottenham earlier in the season when he came on and he just won fouls, got us up the pitch, won headers and just held the ball up a little bit better.
And there's a story there,
and
isn't
he can nick a goal as we've seen so many times. And I just thought, even though it's not his best position, that left-hand side, getting him on, getting the ball up, giving us that mean streak that you mentioned there that we've been lacking. I thought he would have been ideal for that and for the Bournemouth game as well.
Well, he could have tweaked it, couldn't he? He could have put I know Ross doesn't do great out there, but he could have just pushed Barkley out to the left of the three and dropped Naismith off Lukaku and give us an angle. But Aaron Lennon's another one. Why is he bothered driving 230 miles up the bleeding motorway to come here? Because he just sits. He may as well have just sat at Spurs.
And that's what makes it
absolutely waste of time.
That's what makes this blind spot with Coney all the more worrying for me, because it's not as if we've not got some options on that side of it.
He's got quite a big blind spot with someone.
Yeah, well, we will talk about that. We'll talk about him in a minute. Go on.
But just if we had no one on the bench who could play left wing, you could understand it. But even though none of the players we've mentioned who are natural for that position, they can all do a decent job there. They've all got different qualities who can affect the game.
They're an option.
And to leave a player on.
Hang on, we've got a lad coming back in at left back who could have just been played in front of the young kid we've got at left back. Brought him through the game with a natural left foot, and then after an hour, replaced either one. Could have took Galloway off and dropped Baines back, or took Baines off and put Coney there if that's what he wants for half. Coney can come off when, I've said this a million times, I think at home, he's okay at home because we generally have all the ball. The crowd will you forward, so we're naturally on the front foot, and he can leave his position and go and get involved alongside Lukaku. Away from home, it's a different discipline, and he can't do it.
We're talking more about the second half now. The first half, when we had all those chances and all that possession and all that good football, I mean, what do we do about that? Because we're playing well. We're playing as well as anybody there in the first half. We're creating chances. How do we change the mentality? Because you know what worries me more than anything? When players miss a chance, I know Lukaku looked a little bit stressed when he missed that little tap in, but I don't see I don't see players sort of really annoyed that they've missed. Like they're expecting there's going to be another one in 5 minutes. There's going to be another one in 5 minutes. And as you said, Matt, in the second half, we had one chance with Barry, was it? That's all we had. Within the first half, we had chance after chance after chance. And there's not that, doesn't even feel that mentality that let's put this to bed. And then, you know.
Do you not think that can be a good thing in a way? That they're quite composed, yeah? And obviously Saturday doesn't indicate it, but I think in games against Villa and Sunderland, we have been pretty clinical in front of goal. But the fact that we're missing chances, I know it sounds daft, isn't so much of a worry for me, because look at how we were last season.
But no, it's not that we're missing chances.
We were really struggling.
It's like against Bournemouth, when we went 2-0 up, it was almost like, oh lads, let's just keep playing this boss footy and it won't matter. Whereas what I want to see at times is to be a little bit more, it's not even ruthlessness, it's being a bit more direct, like saying, you know what, these are terrible. Let's just keep pounding them. Do you know what I mean? Like on Saturday in the first half, there was a lot of really nice football. Where at times you just thought, doesn't need to be pretty football. These are absolutely terrible. Just pound them, and the goals will come. And I just thought, why were we trying to be so like, oh, pass.
We've seen this and this is one of the reasons why I was disappointed after Sunderland when we won 6, because we scored our 6th goal in the 63rd minute. And I don't think we really went forward after that. And good teams go and they go and they go and they get 8s and they get 9s. And Everton have this thing where they get into a lead and it's almost like you sorted this and that. In the Premier League, when you drop a level and the other team picks up the level, it's very difficult to then recapture that level you were before. On Saturday, the football was good. The first 14 minutes was all Norwich. Yeah. Because we didn't start particularly well, but we broke. John Stones done fantastically well to chase a lost cause. Puts it back, Delafeu cross, our first attempt on target in the opening 15 minutes in the 16th game.
We broke the 15
12 seconds to go of the 15 minutes and Lukaku scored. It was unbelievable. And then after that we took over, we caught them short, they were giving us the ball, but again, selection of passes. Yeah. Delafeu, Russell Martin I think, who gives the ball away to him, he'll just hit it back and he's running through and he's got Lukaku, doesn't do one or the other, just runs the ball out of play. You know, then Rom's missing chances, and then it was one after the other, and like you say, it's almost as if, it doesn't matter, we'll get another one in a minute. When early in these games, you've got to kill the teams off. Coney goes through, the keeper, the only place the keeper's going to dive, isn't it? Yeah. And he hits it straight at him. Then he goes through again, and the only place really to take the ball is to the left of the keeper, he runs to the right, and the chances, and I don't know about you two, but when Baines one hits the post and comes out, I'm thinking we won't win this game because you just know what will happen. I was fuming at half time. I was livid at half time.
Well, the thing is, we all knew what was going to come as well, but I don't think we're scrutinising the attack here, but I don't think that's not been the issue this season. We're the third highest top scorers in the Premier League.
No.
Take the 10 goals off though from Sunderland and Villa.
But you can't just
No,
be
you
that
can't.
selective.
No, I understand what you're saying.
You can, because the 10 goals come across 2 games
But
to go over the third highest.
But we nearly played every team now in the league, and it's everyone's played these teams.
I don't believe for a fact you can say it's not the attack. If you scored 4 goals, like Bournemouth wasn't the attack. They scored 3 goals in a game. Can't blame them. We drew 3 all. That was the defence. It was outrageous. Saturday we got 1 goal against an atrocious.
But in this one game, in isolation,
so it's their fault,
I'm talking the bigger picture. In this one game, it was the attacking players' fault. But I don't think, as a whole, this season, it's something.
Got 1 goal.
But against Bournemouth, though, I will blame the attackers because it's 2-0 up. We're 2-0 up. We stopped playing any kind of forward momentum, and it was almost like, well, we've done our job.
The game.
And if we'd got a third. This is what I'm trying to say. If we got a third against Bournemouth, if we had that, what I'm saying is, there's no mentality to kill teams off. It's almost like, let's just keep playing pretty football. And then there's no counter to that. There's no, let's shut down this game. So it's like we find ourselves in this middle ground, and that must come from the manager. The mentality is like, lads, just keep playing this box football. And when other teams step up, like they always will when they go behind, especially after half-time, there's no way of getting us back up to that level. And that's my biggest problem at the moment. Going forward, we look great, but you've got to find a balance. It's always about balance, isn't it? Going into that second half, though, like you said, you were fuming at half-time. Well, 2 minutes into that second half, I was absolutely fuming because everyone said it, and it came. And it came from not clearing our lines. Was it Funes Mori? He was in the right back position. It was either him or Coleman. And literally, they had a chance to just put the foot through the ball, and they didn't. They waited. The Norwich player got a little nick on it, and it eventually got forced out for a corner, which eventually got put in the box, and it's 1-1, and the game is completely different. You're just thinking, put your foot through it. We're winning. We don't need to be messing around with the back all the time. Sometimes it is really easy at the back for us, and then other times teams make it hard for us, and those players at the back, and I know Baz has got a particular issue with this, those players at the back don't react quick enough, and Funes Mori been strolling through games, but sometimes when he's asked to switch on, it's not there. And John Stones is just like a Rolls Royce, but then at times, again, there's no at the moment for me, there's no leadership at the back, which is probably a good reason maybe why Baines is back, but you always need a leader in your 2 centre-halves, and I don't think either of them are leaders. And I know that's down to their age, but
I think that there's too many. There's loads of issues at the back. The keeper's an issue, although, like you say, I haven't blamed him for Saturday.
Well, I will. So,
generally, he's an issue.
Well, I will.
I think neither full-back stop crosses, which is an issue. And I think the 2 centre-halves, I just don't think there's no gamesmanship in the Everton team anywhere. No. We've got a centre-half that's practicing headers on a slippy pitch, which is fair enough before the game. Gets injured. We're all going, oh my God, is he going to play? He plays. So he's obviously not fully fit because he's just gone over and was laying down and looked like he might be out. So what do? We send him forward for a corner where he's going to jump and land on his ankle. When has he scored 1 header in his whole Everton career against United? Stay back, just for this game. Just stay on the halfway line. Make sure you're all right. He nearly ends up snapping his knee ligaments. That's one thing. And I don't think he had a particularly good game. Great on the ball, and people watch it will be going, oh, shut up, he's the best young defender around. He is a boss defender, I love him. But if you actually strip his game back and watch what he's supposed to do, on Saturday, Mori, who didn't have a particularly good game either, got him out the crap 3 or 4 times in that second half. One of them, he was trying to dribble and just give the ball straight to them, and they've knocked it back in the box and we cleared it. He's a boss defender, but he's got to do his job first, and that's when Jagielka, that's where we missed Jagielka, because Jagielka would just go, you can clear the ball, stop pissing around with it and get the ball down and pass it, and that's what we're missing, and it's the lead. And you're right, it's the leadership. Mori would probably be better with Jagielka because Jagielka would drag him into position. They're both good in their own right, Mori and Stones, but at the moment, they're doing okay. No, but there's just little tweaks and those little fine margins. I think, like what you said before, it isn't it's not like throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's not. Loads of things wrong. It's little tweaks, and I think that's why we're all so frustrated because I've said it before. When I look at the Premier League, after Arsenal and City, Everton are as good as anybody.
But I'm not convinced about them two, are they?
No,
but I'm not though.
I just think they're far more consistent than we will be. But I look at United and I go, nah. I look at Liverpool and I go, yeah, whatever. You know, Chelsea, they're the other way. Palace are a good side, like Crystal Palace, but they're not marvellous.
They're organised.
Leicester are organised. But what Leicester are great at is getting that goal. These teams, Watford scored early on Saturday, clean sheet. You know, Palace,
organised
clean
though.
sheet.
And that's what Martinez has said, we need to get tougher. You know, that's definitely, like you just said, gamesmanship, but it's organisation. Defensively, we just, as a whole team, as a shape, we're not geared up to defend, we're just geared up to attack. And that's what I can't understand. Like in the second half, we go behind and then you go, one attack for the rest of the game. Like, all right, we attack, but then there's so much nervousness. And we go back to the Palace game we were saying last week, in the last 5 minutes, although we were throwing everything at them, it looked like Palace were going to score because we were throwing everything at them. Whereas you go, no, calm down, use the ball. You don't need your centre half playing in the middle of
I think at home, no, the players do get carried along with the crowd, and I think you will get defenders legging it up trying to get the winner away. You have got to be careful. I look at like Saturday, and I read a few. I was fuming at the end, and I was devastated because we threw another 2 points away. But I've seen comments. I've said this to you before, Matt, about it was a game of two halves, as if Everton were just hanging on in that second half. Cameron Giroud missed basically a free goal. It was embarrassing to miss. Other than that, they didn't do anything.
No.
The thing that disappointed me was neither did Everton. And Everton, again, like when Bournemouth stepped it up, we couldn't. What disappointed me the most was we didn't look like Everton. We just looked like there was only, for me, Tom Cleverley. He got us out the crap 3 or 4 times with good tackles. Again, he was the man of the match again. And I thought Coleman done all right on the right. And Cleverly, and then the rest of them, you just like, they weren't terrible, but they just didn't really do anything. He didn't the second half. With Lukaku on the pitch the second half, how did he go from being a menace to them in that first half, looking like he was going to being innocuous? It's just bizarre.
That's where you need guidance, though, isn't it, from senior figures? And I said after the Bournemouth game, when we scored that third goal, everyone got caught up in the celebrations. And in years gone by, we'd have someone like Phil Neville, Tim Cahill, both players who had the flaws, admittedly, but they'll be saying to everyone, keep switched on, we might have to defend the spell here. And that lack of leadership and lack of guidance just shone through again at the weekend, didn't it?
No, it didn't.
Like, again, in the manager, he could have brought someone like Darren Gibson a bit earlier, sat him in, just get his foot on the ball a little bit better. Like we already mentioned, freshen up that left-hand side. But he didn't. When we concede a goal like that, we just seem to go into survival mode sort of thing. It's like we're waiting to be you know
what it is though as well? It's like a lot of lads, you see them, a lot of players go, look what's just happened. We've had all that and then we've done that, and they all go, what are we supposed to do?
Well, it must frustrate you.
It must have frustrated a lot of them. I seen Baines saying that last week in training, they practiced set pieces because they felt like they had to, which is incredible. That's an incredible statement to make. That they felt like
we've conceded. I think that's 6 now, isn't it?
Yeah,
6 set pieces.
But it's incredible that they feel like now that they have to start practicing set pieces. And you hear people go, you can't practice that, you can't do this. You can. I listen to people all the time, ex-professionals, and when they concede silly goals, they say, well, on a Monday morning, part of the punishment for conceding was we'll spend 2 hours just doing nothing but free kick drills and set piece drills, and it was part of the punishment, and you're not coming off that training pitch till you've got it right. And it doesn't feel like that's there. It doesn't feel like there's enough not punishment, but like you got something wrong and now we're going to make it right.
Let me just say that when I've criticised the manager for the lack of set piece-ness, I'm going to call it, not even a word, but I've just said it.
Like it?
Yeah, I think it works, to be honest. But as a player, you'll go on about, he's only a young lad or he's only young this. You know, as a player, when you're defending a situation, you just pick you up. You're marking me. You're just going to make sure you're marking me. You grab, you're not going to You're not... Oh, but it should matter. You can't... Listen,
no.
Too much emphasis goes back to the manager
No. But you're talking about man marking. necessarily all man mark anymore. I know, but that's the point, isn't it?
Pick a man up.
But that's not football,
Get in
Baz.
someone's face.
It's like
block it off.
It's
all
like
Tony Pulis does.
no, but
Well, intro, by the way.
So you don't think they shouldn't need to practice it?
Of course you practice, but even so, when you're on a pitch, things happen. You
But
can
what if
Lukaku can take 15
But what
penalties,
if it's zonal?
but then he get.
But
you
what
still,
if it's... No, I'm saying, but what if it's zonal?
So you attack the ball. Which
But
we
that's
don't.
what-
As a professional, that's what you do.
So that's what I'm saying. So you've surely got to
I
practice
played
that, haven't you?
football for many years at many different levels, and you sit in the manager. The last thing he says, yeah, do. You go, yeah, cross the white line, and you play the game. You don't listen to a word he says because you play the game, and you know what to do. You know to put a tackle in. You know to chase a corner flag that. You know to head a corner away, mark at a free kick, mark at a set piece. Our players aren't clever. I've said it a million times. They're not clever. Last Bournemouth the other week, kick the lad, give a free kick away, 40 yards from the goal, where he can just knock it into a box. Dead sensible. On Saturday, Baines puts one out for that cross for the goal, comes in and Baines just wellies it into the stand. Help it on. Stop the cross. We don't stop the cross. Why don't we defend crosses anymore? Why is Coleman? Because you're telling me, but playing at a lower level, the first thing you're taught is go and block a cross. And I hear people go, no, but football's changed now. We head the crosses away.
We don't.
Do we?
We don't.
Do we? Because on Monday, there was a floated corner and Scott Dan heads the ball and doesn't head it very well. He just guides it into the middle of the goal. That might
No, I completely agree with what you're saying, but I'm saying with set pieces though, whichever way you do, whether you do marking, whether you use zonal, you've got to practice, haven't you? You've got to practice.
Yes, but you still, you're right, but you've still, players, see this is the thing, right, is that players are lauded when things go right and shielded when things go wrong. And our fans are marvellous at it. But a lot of us
I'm not shielding them. And what I'm saying is, it's pathetic that we don't practice them. Even if that's 4 senior players.
Yeah, well, he practiced all week, and how did Norwich go?
I'm just saying.
He's practiced a bit more.
I'm not saying they need to
I'm
practice.
saying it. You can practice. I can practice for 2 hours with you, and we could go out and the team could do a different corner, or it could get a flick on, and it's in the net, and you go, oh my God, why haven't we practiced? And you go, well, we did practice for 2 weeks.
But it just seems to me like we're not savvy on them. Yeah. We're not aware of which players are going to attack the ball.
What annoys me worse is our corners. Well, that's what we should be practicing. Exactly. No, we just stand together and go. You see other players like Olden Hands and they run round. And ours are like, what do we do here? And every corner's the same. It's tossed. And you said before, there's only really Funes Mori who attacks the ball. There's one of you said it. Someone with a beard said it. And no one else. And he's the only one who ever gets near our corners. Can no one else head the ball?
Lukaku, but he's on. We're going over again.
We're going back to.
But no, just want to say.
Go on, Matt.
I think we need to practice set pieces. Yeah. They're so important.
I'm not saying we don't need to. I'm saying players have to take responsibility, and there's not enough of it. It's that.
We're recording this on Monday, but the 9 games that have been played already, 6 of them had at least 1 goal from a set piece in. And that just the Premier League this year to me seems so tight. Teams want to sit back and try and play in the break. And that makes for cagey matches. And if you can't score from set pieces or defend them, you're not going to get anywhere. Because we've seen West Brom at Anfield scored 2 set-piece goals and they didn't have any attacking play at all. Defended well, should have won the game. And they're so important, and we're just awful at it. And it just really does me.
I love scoring from set. I'd like to state at this point, I'm not saying we shouldn't practice set pieces. I'm saying players have to take responsibility. Should be practice them all the time, but what I'm saying is there's still a randomness in a set piece. I think that's what the manager's trying to say is excuse for not practicing.
I think that's why I don't agree with that. I think that's why zonal marking has become such a big thing, is because there is a randomness towards them. So you.
But that's I don't.
But even the other night, I was watching Monday Night Football, and Jamie Carragher was trying to describe how Crystal Palace scored, and he said, well, they started at zonal, and then suddenly it changed, and Gareth Barry decided it was going to be man marking. Pick one. It was like...
No, but that's what I'm saying. Within game situations, randomness comes into it. It has to. Otherwise, it would be... It's about going to float across in, and we head it away. No one would ever...
Well, let me just throw something in here, right? And I know you said you're not going to criticise him, but I'm not necessarily going to criticise him. And it's something I've seen a few times over the weekend on set pieces, is the fact that goalkeepers now, and I've seen it from about 3 or 4 different teams, I'm not necessarily picking on Tim Howard, about 3 or 4 different teams conceded goals, and the goalkeeper did not move off his line for the entire time the ball was in the air. And every time the ball ended the back of the net. So the keeper doesn't affect the play whatsoever, and the ball ends in the back of the net. So you might as well not have a goalkeeper. We've got a lad on the bench there who I genuinely think, with his size and the way he plays, can affect balls coming into the box, whether he comes and catches them or he comes and punches them. In this country for years, we've laughed and shouted at European goalies. Why did he punch? They're all clowns, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? If it gets the ball out the area, it's a lot more effective than standing on your line and watching the ball go past you without moving. And I think here's one thing you can... And I know people go, oh, you're having a go at him again, he hasn't done nothing. I'm not having a go at him. I just think there's a goalie on the bench who can help the situation on set pieces where we seem to have more problems than anyone else. He's a big lad. He'll punch. He'll come and try and catch them. Doesn't always get there, but he'll affect whatever's going on in front of him because he doesn't just stand on his line. He's a passenger. If you stand on the line, you're a passenger. If you come out and throw your body in the box, you'll probably get a foul, or you'll get something on the ball and make it deviate from that lad's head it was about to land on.
I completely agree, and I think his position was poor for the goal. There's one after it as well, where he's standing actually a yard behind his line when the ball comes into the box.
We've seen that before.
And you want your goalkeeper there, and Thibaut Courtois, I think, is the best at it probably in the world. He just gets everyone out the way. Doesn't matter. Shoves attackers, defenders out the way in front of him, comes and gets it, or comes and punches it. And Howard, for our goal, he's stuck on his line. He's occupied with the players in front. He's tussling with them. He's not being authoritative enough. And then when that ball comes in, he's too far back to get to it and stop it in time. And then the scramble ensues. But we've seen it before, haven't we? And when we talked about blind spots earlier, when we talked about blind spots earlier, this is one which has been going on for so long now, and it's become a running joke. But like you mentioned there, we're having a massive issue defending set pieces. It just seems like a logical solution to bring in a goalkeeper who's going to come and catch more balls.
There's things you talked about before about the lack of leadership and the lack of organisation. Some of that should come from the goalkeeper, shouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So
I'm not going to defend Tim Howard, but I'm defending him on Saturday because that's going to disagree totally because he couldn't come for a ball on the corner of the 6-yard box.
I'm not saying he should have come for it.
So what, he dived?
He should have put himself... Because he's not being authoritative enough, he doesn't put himself in a good enough position to save it.
You know that I criticise him when I believe...
I think he should have come for the corner.
That's fine.
I think he should have come...
Nowhere near it. They'd been headed back.
What did he do? What did he do otherwise? What I'm saying is, he's a passenger.
Personally, for me, Saturday, because you just asked me, and you've cut over me again. Just get to your party quickly. He was in the right position on Saturday. The defenders are at fault. You've got two lads on the corner of the 6-yard box and he's got a free head. I think the lad out-jumps his own player.
I understand
He's got a free head. He can't come because it goes over his head and gets headed in. The other night on Monday against Crystal Palace, he tried to move along his line instead of standing still. If he stands still against Palace, he's got a catch. He tries to affect the play and it ends up in the back of the net because he doesn't have to move. If lads standing in front of him, shove them out the way, you're spot on, and you will be. Shove them out the way. On Saturday, that's a straight corner to the corner of the 6-yard box, header back in. He tries to save it. Barkley, it takes it away, unfortunately, from Ross. He was going to swing at it. And Wes Houlihan's on his own, because our marking's amazing in the box.
I just don't think he affects anything that happens in the box. And that's that I
want Joe in. I wanted Joe in for 12 months.
What I'm saying is, if he wasn't there, it wouldn't make any difference. Do you know what I mean? If there was no goalkeeper in our net, in all of these set pieces, it wouldn't make a difference because he doesn't do anything.
Well, there's that stat going around, wasn't there, on Saturday night about that?
It's far too convoluted, that stat, Matt.
Well, when Everton are 1 goal down, he's not saved a single shot on target 7 times.
Well, it's a very convoluted stat, but it's it is what it is.
That's a stat,
it just does. What I'm saying is, like the Danny Ings one, it's like it doesn't make a difference that he's there. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like it does. He doesn't do anything.
I feel as though you're trying to convince me that he shouldn't be in.
I'm not bothered.
No, what I'm saying is, listen, we've done this show long enough. Probably since we've been doing the whole thing, we've said he shouldn't be in goal anymore. He's still he's an alright keeper, but he shouldn't.
He's a good shot stopper.
He shouldn't be our keeper.
He's a good shot stopper.
But I'm just saying that for me personally, at the weekend, I don't lay the blame at him.
You blame John Stones, so.
But this
he's a centre half. He's supposed to head the ball, is he?
Well, It's probably actually more Gareth Barry.
But we've got an obvious
centre-half.
solution on sitting on the bench to a massive problem we're having now. And any man, you see at the weekend they dropped John Ruddy, brought in their reserve goalkeeper because Ruddy's been having a bad time of things. Got man of the match, made a couple of really good saves, and suddenly
We've got
he's
a
full
few
of
solutions
confidence
on the bench to certain areas.
Exactly.
They're all on the bench.
Well, that's another thing. Let's wrap this up with it. That's the other thing, isn't it? The substitutions. We've been crying out for them. Palace, we cried out for them. And yet, on Saturday, I know Barkley didn't have a brilliant game. And he seems to be getting a little bit lost when he's playing that deeper role. I mean, I think he can play it, but he just, on Saturday, didn't work completely. But taking him off and taking Gerard Deulofeu off, that to me just seems... we said this as far back as the derby, when Jerry wasn't having a good game, but he creates things. He creates things out of nothing, and he's the only one at the moment who is creating things. Why are you taking him off when you've got Kone on the other side who does very, very little?
When you brought him off in the derby, I agreed with that at the time because he'd been a little bit inconsistent up to that point, but he's shown in the last few weeks that he's got that ability now, that consistency to make impacts in the game, whether it's early on in the match or late on. He can do it. He did it against Crystal Palace, didn't he? Got down the line, put a cross in him, and we're equalising. But to take him off and then to take Barkley off, who are your two most creative players in the team, it's just... You just knew we're not going to get back in the game then. It seemed to be settling for a draw in a game that we should have been out of sight in. And his substitutions, in his first season, they were great, weren't they? He made so many good substitutions. He was proactive. He had great ideas about how to alter the course of a game. But now, he just seems, like I mentioned before, he just seems to be waiting for things to happen in the match. And the visionary trait he had seems to have disappeared.
I mean, I'd never take Deulofeu. I've said it all season. Even in a game when he stinks the place out, I would still leave him because it only takes a few seconds for him to just turn. They were petrified of him. I think he was the only player they were petrified of. You remove him from that, all of a sudden they go, like we've seen one of their biggest days. It's like Balassi going off against us on Monday. Everyone would have been rubbing their hands if he'd have been taken off, because you look at him and think he hasn't done much, but he can, and he nearly won it for them late on Monday. Deulofeu could have done it on Saturday. Kone would have been a man that took off without a shadow of a doubt. Morales, I actually thought that's a good, Morales coming on, that's good. He come on and stunk the place out, so it's one of those things. But Deulofeu would not have been someone who had to took off. You mentioned Naismith before, and that's a good shout because that they're the kind of games. Put it this way, if he'd have had the chances Lukaku had or Kone, he'd have scored. Definitely, he's the best finisher at the club. Up with Rom. He's certainly, probably the ratio. Naismith is probably better even because he doesn't get as many chances, but he's a cool finisher, isn't he? Naismith, and he might have been that niggle, and it was a story. Norwich won him, and he's there, and he pops up and gets the winner or something, and we nearly did get the winner with Gareth Barry, but it's just alarming the way we just fell off like Bournemouth. The first half to the second half was bizarre.
Do you think there's like an issue with fitness? Because it struck me in the 30 minutes we were great in before half time. It was the best I've seen us press the opposition all season. We were right on top of Norwich. We weren't letting them out. We were recycling the ball really well. The corner actually came from us pressing it, and then the ball came out, pressed it again. And we just didn't seem to ever reach those intensity levels again. And against Crystal Palace in the last 10 minutes, we looked, the game was so stretched and they looked the more dangerous. Bournemouth, obviously, we were awful for the last half an hour. And without McCarthy in the team especially, we seem to just lack that energy, which you need really to go and get results late in games.
I think it's someone in there keeping the whole structure of the team together. I don't know what it is because the players are in there, but we do. You look at the performance up to half time, and listen, Norwich didn't do anything complicated. They just ran a bit more, but Everton then should have been able to pull them apart and we didn't. It was almost like you said before. The players just sort of go, we've had, like us as fans, we've had loads of chances and we've blown this, and they can't get back to that level. It's just,
I think that's the biggest, most alarming thing I think I've seen in the last 3 games, is the 2 away games especially, is when the opposition steps up, we find it very hard to step up that gear again that we need to. Where, really, for me, Saturday, coming out at half time, we should have been ready for their shift and gone up a level ourselves.
What do you say at any level of football? When these are going to come out. First 15, these are going to come out.
Be ready for it.
2 banks of 4 or 2 banks of 5, even if you want. Just quieten these down for 5 or 10 minutes. And it wasn't as if they brought 2 quick strikers on to turn us around. He
brought
brought the centre half on it.
Turn them as well. Put your foot to it and turn them. Get them going the other way. Again, any level of football, get them going the other way. Take the sting out the game. Take the enthusiasm out of the game. And as you said before, it's game management, isn't it? At times, it's being canny. It's getting the sly kicking. It's getting the fouling. You know, not giving up corners easy. You know, all those little things that we just don't seem to do that other clubs do. And I hope that's part of what he's saying about being a bit more nasty. Is those little things, because they're the things that win you games, and
we're just teetering on the brink of being that side, aren't we? But we can quite easily fall the other way, as you know, we're getting onto the points total now. Are we 3 points better off or something?
I think we're 4 points better off than last season.
Season
when we get to the QPR game.
The thing is, we could easily, like you mentioned there, could go one way or the other, but we're still 3 points off 5th position, which we're still right in the mix.
It's not a disaster, but it's frustrating.
And you look at the chances we're creating. I'm trying to be positive now.
No, be positive.
Look at the chances we're creating and the way that the front three are playing, and the fact that we mentioned there that the issues in the team, even though they seem major at the moment, can be adjusted. Hopefully with a few tweaks from the manager. We do look like a team who could potentially go on a run.
I fancy us Saturday. I do. I think McCarthy will come back in. I think Cleverly will go wide. And I fancy
we're saying that like we're playing Leicester. It's mad, isn't it?
I still fancy.
I know, but it's mad, isn't it? The football is incredible at times, but the facts are, in that first half on Saturday, we still only had 2 shots on target. So that's a worry before you get going, and then we look wide. There's something just not right, and it's going to take someone a lot cleverer than me to fix it. It's
take the players to fix it.
It's just we just overdo it far too much. We, like you said before, even those silly things like celebrations at Bournemouth, there's nobody gabbing hold of them, and you would think Gareth Barry would be the fella to do it, but maybe he's outnumbered by all the other young players. There's just not enough people going, calm this game down, put your foot on it, start thinking about it, and let's just get through a game. Get through a game where maybe we need to go back to the times when we didn't score till the second half. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe we were scoring.
Look, even within it, and I can't even believe I'm going to say this, but we were a bit unlucky in terms of the Baines shot could hit the post and go in. We've hit the woodwork 4 times in 2 games, and it's one of them, other teams have deflections that go in, or it hits the post and goes in.
When we're playing well, we're brilliant. When we're not playing well,
that's when you worry.
Yeah, there's no in between.
That's the mad thing. At no time in that game did anyone go, right, lads, calm this down. Just calm this down. Get through that first 10 minutes of the second half and go and get a second, and we'll be fine. It was just the fact that we came on second half, and it was still, come on lads, let's go and score. Which should have just been, what's
without the fluid footballer.
Yeah, let's just put our foot in it. Maybe that's the problem. I know last season there was a classic case of we haven't got a plan B. Maybe we just haven't got a plan B where it's like, let's go back to just knocking balls long into the channels and letting Kone run onto them, and we could be here all day. But anyway, drop points again.
Cleverly was boss.
That's where we're going to leave it. Cleverly was boss. We love the old Clevs and his missus. Right, tell us what you think in the comments below. Tell us all your thoughts about this game. Don't forget, we're on Twitter as well. It is at Toffee TV 1. Don't forget to subscribe. We're very close to 6,000. Let's get there before Christmas. Tell your friends. Ask for Christmas, instead of sending a Christmas card, send them an email with the link to us.
To subscribe.
I think they'd appreciate that. That's the gift that keeps on giving all year round.
You have to do like a video Christmas card from Baz and Ped.
Baz and Pez.
Just send them a link.
He doesn't like your idea, does he?
I just haven't got time to make the video, that's all.
All a party and
you know what? Just one Christmas party I'm going to. One Christmas party.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, Matt. It's right.
Just because they're not invited. Anyway.
How can you not invite me to my own show?
Anyway.
Fremantle, give us a call. Anytime.
Stop it!
Sorry, mate.
Stop it! Right. We'll be back soon on Toffee TV. Disregard anything he said. They're his own opinions and not the opinions of Toffee TV. We'll see you soon.